In the skies of modern aviation, Boeing has long been a cherished name, synonymous with innovation and excellence. Beneath this prestigious facade lies a story of grave missteps and miscalculations, thus destroying the reputation of this century-old company. How did Boeing, once an emblem of aerospace prowess, find itself in such a precarious position? Let's embark on a journey to uncover the complex layers of Boeing's downfall. Boeing started small in a Seattle shipyard back in the early 1900s. A guy named William Boeing founded the company in 1916, focusing on making seaplanes for military and business use. William Boeing was a pioneer, always pushing for new ideas in aviation. One of Boeing's big breakthroughs was a plane called the Model C, which was a biplane that could carry mail and passengers. This was a big deal because it showed that planes could be used for more than fun. They could be practical for getting around and delivering things. Boeing kept improving their planes. In 1933, they introduced the Boeing 247, which was one of the first modern airliners made entirely of metal. This made flying safer and more comfortable for passengers, and it showed how advanced Boeing's engineering was. During World War II, Boeing played a huge role in making planes like the B-17 Flying Fortress and the B-29 Super Fortress. Boeing's work during this time also led to important partnerships with the government. After the war, Boeing used its experience to move into commercial aviation. The Boeing 707, which came out in 1958, was a game changer. It was one of the first jet planes for long-distance flights, making it easier for people to travel around the world. This was a big step forward in connecting people globally. Boeing became known for its innovation and reliability. Airlines trusted Boeing's planes, and the company kept growing. By the middle of the 20th century, Boeing was a giant in the aviation world, best known for making top-quality planes with cutting-edge technology. As time went on, Boeing expanded into other areas like space exploration and defense. They even built the Saturn V rocket for NASA's Apollo missions, showing how versatile and adaptable they were. By the year 2000, Boeing had become a leader in aviation. Their planes like the 747 jumbo jet and the 777 were iconic and used all over the world. Boeing's success story showed the power of American innovation and hard work in shaping modern air travel. Boeing became a big name in aviation after World War II, growing a lot and becoming a leader in aerospace. One big move was when Boeing joined with McDonnell Douglas in 1997. This made Boeing even stronger in the market, offering more products for both commercial flights and defense. The merge helped Boeing compete better with Airbus, a big European rival that was also getting popular in commercial aviation. Boeing kept pushing technology forward, with planes like the Boeing 777 in the early 1990s. The 777 had cool new technology and comfy cabins, making it a favorite for long flights. At the same time, Boeing stayed important in defense. They made advanced military planes like the FA-18 Hornet and the AH-64 Apache helicopter for the U.S. military and allies. Boeing also focused on partnerships with airlines and governments around the world. These partnerships helped Boeing reach more places, as well as build a reputation as a trusted aviation partner that cared about customers. A big moment for Boeing came with the Boeing 787 Dreamliner in the early 2000s. This plane was a big deal in commercial aviation because it used new materials to be super fuel efficient. It had cool features for passengers and showed that Boeing could meet the changing needs of the market. Even with tough competition from Airbus, Boeing stayed on top. They used new tech, made smart investments, and cared a lot about what customers wanted. The success of Boeing wasn't just about technology. It was about their culture of doing things with honesty, quality, and responsibility. Boeing was a big player in aviation, but signs of trouble started to show as they became more successful. They focused more on saving money and making shareholders happy. This was instead of putting their best into engineering and safety. With strong competition from Airbus, Boeing tried to make more profit by cutting cost. This meant they weren't as careful with quality and safety. At Boeing, leaders began focusing more on quick wins and quarterly results instead of thinking ahead for the long term. This change affected Boeing's values, leading to compromises in safety and following rules. As Boeing grew and sold more products worldwide, things got more complicated. Departments didn't always communicate well, causing problems with making decisions. Safety used to be important for Boeing's success. Yet as they faced more pressure, meeting deadlines and saving money became the priority. This sometimes led to not following safety rules. New employees at Boeing were more interested in making quick money, prioritizing advancing their careers over sticking to the old values that made Boeing successful. This caused disagreements about what was important inside the company. Boeing's leaders were under a lot of pressure to succeed, but their focus on short-term gains meant they let go of the principles that made Boeing great. This time of complacency was a turning point for Boeing, a time when they made small compromises that led to big problems later on. Boeing faced tough competition and pressure from inside the company when they started working on the 737 MAX. This was a big project, meant to compete with Airbus's A320neo by making a more fuel-efficient and high-performing plane. Boeing chose to upgrade its existing 737 planes instead of creating a new one from scratch, hoping to save money and time. But this project ran into problems. To fix the plane's tendency to tilt up in certain situations, Boeing used a system called MCAS. Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System is a flight control software system. It was designed to address certain handling characteristics of the 737 MAX due to its larger engines. They relied on this system and didn't need much training for pilots, choosing speed over careful planning. Inside Boeing, people worried about the risk of the MCAS system, but their concerns were ignored. This made Boeing too confident and optimistic about the project. Boeing's relationship with regulators also got worse during the 737 MAX development. There were reports that Boeing pushed regulators to hurry up and approve the plane. This showed Boeing wasn't following safety rules closely. When the 737 MAX started flying, there were signs that something was wrong. Pilots reported strange behavior during tests, but Boeing said the plane was safe, downplaying the issues. Tragically, the problems with the 737 MAX became clear after the Lion Air Flight 610 crash in 2018. Investigations found many problems, from flaws in the MCAS system to pilots not being trained enough. The grounding of all 737 MAX planes shocked the aviation world, hurting Boeing's reputation and causing a big crisis. Looking back, the 737 MAX project shows how Boeing's pride and carelessness led to serious mistakes. What started as a big idea to stay on top turned into a lesson about how companies should avoid taking big risks. They must remember the importance of trust and safety in aviation. After the 737 MAX disaster, people looked closely at how Boeing made decisions, and they found serious problems. Inside Boeing, engineers and safety experts spoke up about issues with the MCAS system. They could take control of the plane without enough safety checks. But Boeing's leaders cared more about sticking to schedules and saving money than fixing these safety concerns. People who raised worries had been ignored or silenced, thus showing a company culture that didn't like open discussion or criticism. Boeing's relationship with regulators, especially the FAA, also came under fire. Investigations showed that Boeing had too much influence over safety checks. This made the system less trustworthy. When the 737 MAX started flying, pilots noticed problems with how it behaved. But Boeing told airlines and regulators that everything was fine, ignoring the warning signs. The crashes of Lion Air Flight 610 and Ethiopia Airlines Flight 302 showed just how serious these issues were. Investigations revealed major failures in how the plane was designed, certified, and managed. The MCAS system played a big part in these disasters, thus showing the dangers of relying too much on automated systems without training pilots properly. Boeing's response to these disasters made things worse. At first, they didn't want to admit design flaws, but later they had to. This hurt Boeing's reputation gravely. Airlines canceled orders, regulators demanded answers, and victims' families sought justice. The 737 MAX story is a warning. Boeing ignored big problems in its company and its relationship with regulators. This shows a bigger issue in aviation, balancing new ideas with safety and making money with responsibility. As Boeing works to regain trust, they must learn from this and make real changes. They need to be honest, open and put safety first to prevent disasters like this from happening again. This moment calls for a new way of working together to keep flying safe for everyone. Boeing faced serious problems after the Lion Air Flight 610 and Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 crashes. These tragedies showed big issues within Boeing's company culture, how it was regulated, and how it made planes, leading to a huge crisis. After the Lion Air crash in October of 2018, investigators found out some troubling things. They saw that the design flaws in the MCAS system, along with pilots not being trained enough and safety checks not being done, caused the crash. Soon after, all 737 MAX planes were grounded worldwide, shaking the aviation industry and making people lose trust in Boeing. As investigations continued, people saw more problems. Boeing rushed to get the 737 MAX out there, which made safety standards drop. Regulators like the FAA were criticized for not doing enough to keep things safe. Boeing and regulators were too close, and this hurt how planes were made safely. The Ethiopian Airlines crash in March of 2019 showed even more issues with Boeing. People saw that the same problems from Lion Air happened again, making everyone question Boeing's actions. Families of the victims wanted answers, and the public got even more upset when they learned about what Boeing did wrong. The fallout from the 737 MAX disasters made everyone question aviation safety. People everywhere wanted big changes. They wanted more honesty, accountability, and independence on how planes are made safe. These tragedies showed the real cost of putting profits ahead of safety. Boeing tried to fix things by making planes safer, changing how the company works, and being more open with everyone. But fixing its reputation will be hard and will need a strong focus on safety and doing things right. As Boeing moves forward, everyone in aviation needs to learn from these mistakes. Safety must come first, with strict rules and a culture that's honest and responsible. Boeing's big crisis is a lesson for everyone, a reminder of how serious the consequences can be when safety isn't the top priority. Boeing's issues serve as a cautionary tale for other major corporations. It highlights the risk of prioritizing short-term profits over long-term vision, which underlines the importance of diligence and doing things properly, thus avoiding significant challenges down the road. Boeing now has a tough road ahead to get back on track and will need to really think about what matters most to rebuild its reputation. Looking back at Boeing's tough journey makes us wonder, can this long-standing giant change its ways and become excellent again? Only time will tell if Boeing can bounce back and start fresh, focusing on being humble, responsible, and putting safety first. After all, we've seen the weaknesses of a company that used to be untouchable. As we think about the future of flying, let's use this story to make things better and expect higher standards from everyone involved in aviation. Did you enjoy this video? Please consider a like and subscribe.